Yeah. You know, when I was thinking about David Delyden's interview with Jim and Joy, and he saw 2016 as like a watershed year where the course of the conversation is changing because of these videos, because of these events like this, because of the truth getting out there more and more in people's hearts. People are looking at abortion differently, it seems to me, because of that.
Exactly. Let's get back out into the field. Well, we were going to go to Damon, but, you know, with a crowd like that, you know, and Father would know it better than I do, you deal with some wireless equipment and things like that. The number of people, the number of cell phones, even the banners being used can have an impact sometimes on the signal strength being broadcasting ability to get from one signal one place to another. I know we saw some banners there.
So we had the American Heritage Girls. I think there's a group actually in Birmingham.
Right.
And the Aquinas Academy, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Syracuse, and St. John the 23rd Seminary in Boston.
Yeah, just a couple of the banners we've seen here. Now I think we do have Damon. Damon.
Yes, I'm here with a group here who lost their group in the sense of canceled buses from Michigan, and they came down and drove on their own. What is your name?
I'm Natalie Partica.
Natalie and
Tommy Point.
Natalie, Tommy, and
Hannah Partica.
And Hannah.
Terry.
Terry. They're telling a great story of how their group was coming down, was canceled because of the weather, and they drove down on their own. Now tell me about the group and this Crusaders for Life.
The Crusaders for Life Detroit is a group coming off the Crusaders for Life Chicago, and we look at the pro-life movement in a positive way by singing songs and doing cheers, and you know, promoting in the best way possible. We are trying to expand our group, and it's fun.
And it's young adult, young people like yourself?
Teenagers to young adults. We have like we try teenagers running it and planning events, and we go in front of abortion clinics and march for life normally, praying the rosary, singing songs.
That's beautiful. And Tommy, you must be a little bit disappointed the rest of your group isn't here, but he wasn't going to stop you, huh?
No, it was not. Definitely not. Yeah, it would have been fun, but it's still just as fun. It's exciting to be here, and I'm glad to march for life.
That's what we call committed, Doug. We call people here who says, regardless of what the weather says and the scare and that, they're going to come even when the group doesn't. What a great witness. God bless all the work that you do. Back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Damon. Again, wonderful testimonies of people who go above and beyond, and we salute all the people who are planning on going as well, who hopefully are praying for their safety and also hopefully taking in the events and participating as they can through the medium of television and the internet and our coverage of this as we've done every year. It's our commitment to the pro-life movement to cover this particular march, the march in Canada that's coming up in May 12th, I believe, as well as the events happening on the West Coast tomorrow, which we'll be covering as well, so you can stay with us. And also later today, we'll bring you a replay of the Mass that took place at the Verizon Center, that youth event with Cardinal Wuerl. That happened simultaneously while we were doing our interviews. We recorded it, and we will be airing that after our conclusion of the actual march itself. And as we can see, the snow is falling, but it is not deterring the ardor of these pro-lifers and the young people involved. And sometimes, again, I think young people like a challenge.
They do like a challenge. I liked a tweet that we just had, Margaret Garnett. Life is never convenient, but is always sacred. You know, that there can be these inconveniences, and Pope Francis said something similar, you know, that being charitable is not always convenient, but it's something that helps us to grow as individuals.
Right, exactly. Again, this is EWTN's continuing live coverage of the 43rd Annual March for Life, live from Washington, D.C. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter. We'll also have highlights on YouTube later. You can get us in any different variation on the internet, live streaming. If you don't have cable, if you're at work listening, you know, you can check out Roku Box or something like a Apple TV we're on. You can see images posted on our Pinterest site. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out our radio feeds where Teresa Tomeo is so comfortable in the mornings on the Catholic Connection. If it's the first time you've seen Teresa, you enjoy listening to her, you can check her out on our morning show on EWTN's Global Catholic Radio Network via your local Catholic radio station or through iHeartRadio or through our website or on Sirius XM radio as well. And again, for all information you have about EWTN, EWTN.com. And don't forget, also, we want to mention, you know, Mother Angelica started something called the Religious Catalog for Holy Reminders. And the idea of that was to put good Catholic images, good Catholic books and materials into people's homes, because it's important that we're surrounded by those reminders of the eternal aspect of our lives. I mean, people sometimes forget EWTN has to do with the eternal word. Who is the eternal word with Jesus Christ?
It's a spiritual growth network. That's why we're here. And charity helps us to grow in the spiritual life. How can we love God if we do not love our brother? St. John writes in his first letter. And so this march is all about loving our brothers who are voiceless, who do not have a voice for themselves, and speaking up to them.
And again, we see the beautiful image as the march continues up Constitution towards the... Down there you can see those trucks. Actually, that's the triangle where one of our locations, technical locations is. As you can see, it's snaking up past there. That's past, I think it's 3rd Avenue or 3rd Street West, Northwest. And then we'll continue moving towards the camera. We see Lutherans for Life right there as it moves up Constitution Avenue and then makes the right-hand turn in front of the Supreme Court building, which is 1st Street Southeast, just to give you a general idea of the march and how it progresses. And again, as you can see, it is getting wetter thanks to the ongoing snow. It abated for a little while, but it seems like it's picking up again. You can see in the distance some of the, looks like it's sticking. Of course, there had been some snow yesterday morning, which had already had an impact on the D.C. area and led to a lot of people making decisions that it was not a good idea to come. And as we mentioned, the city of Washington's offices actually closed this afternoon around noon or 1 o'clock. And again, this is EWTN's live coverage, our committed coverage to the pro-life movement, 43rd Annual March for Life, live from Washington, D.C. And as you see the crowd, we go to Damon, who's in the middle of it. Damon.
I plucked these two young people out of a pretty large group and asked them where they were from, and they managed to get 4 buses in from Kansas.
Yeah, we're from Wichita, Kansas. It took 28 hours to get here. It was a rough ride, but who knows how long we're going to be here with this snow. But it's a great time. It's a great witness to be here, and I'm glad we're here.
Now tell us your name.
My name is Connor.
Connor, and where are you from?
Wichita.
No, the school?
Bishop Carroll High School.
Bishop Carroll. Your name?
Bryn Solchop.
Bryn. Now, how many people came down, you said?
Our high school alone has 4 buses, and from our diocese, we have at least 10.
And what were you getting as messages on the bus on the way down almost 28 hours?
Oh, you know, without showering for a whole 28 hours, people tend to get pretty grumpy. But in the end, it's all worth it to be here. And, you know, we got in at 1 o'clock that night, and we had Mass. And not everyone was in the greatest mood getting off the bus, but now everyone's happy, everyone's excited and cheering. It's a great time to be out here.
So here's the question. Why? Why? Why did you come here?
Because if I'm not here, why would you be here? Why did you come here? And people think that their voice, if people that think that their voice is too small, then there would be nobody here. If everyone here thought their voice didn't matter, there would be no march. Every single individual voice is what makes up this unity as a whole. If you thought that one person's going to come here and bang on the door of Washington, they're not going to listen. But if you bring 2, you bring 3, you bring your whole church that might listen. And then you bring a community of churches and a community of organizations across the whole nation. Not only is Washington going to listen, the whole nation is going to listen. On
wow, how about that for fire? How's that for fire? Bree, what about you? What about you?
We almost did March today, and I came last year, and it was such an experience. I mean, there's so many people out here that are so dedicated to what this faith brings us to, and I had my mom just recently had a baby, and he is my godson now, and through that experience I just learned so much about just pregnancy and how important it is to show our faith through kids. I have 6 siblings, and we are one great happy family, and it's just beautiful. I love babies, and it's definitely like what Connor said. It takes 1, 2, 3 people, and you can make a difference.
I got to tell you, your witness getting here is a witness alone, but your words today, your passion, what a great, great story. Doug, how could you not feel the passion, not just in numbers, of course, but when you hear testimonies like this of the travel and of why they're here and how articulate they are. I'm extremely hopeful for this pro-life generation.
What? Come here.
Yeah. So, hello. Where are you all from?
We're from New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Come here.
Atlanta.
New Orleans.
And New Orleans. Okay, now what brought you all here? What brought you here?
Miss Standberry. International Pro-Life Federation. I'm here babysitting my grandchildren.
And your name?
Hi.
Now, Brandon, what brought you from Atlanta?
Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Lauren, say hi.
But what's your story?
This is videotaping the annual 43rd annual March to Life. It was yesterday in Washington, D.C., and I'm so thankful to be able to videotape this for Facebook. And so thankful to be able to be a part of the pro-life movement. This makes me proud, especially on this Sunday when they're aborting children in
When I first started in the pro-life
Miami.
26 years ago,
You know, it's free in Miami today.
2016.
So this is a good thing to be able to be videotaping this. It will be up on YouTube and Facebook.
And Gwen, are you from New Orleans, or?
In honor of all the unborn children that are being aborted today, right now. We have so many people standing for truth. In Jesus' name, God bless you all.
They all believe in the dignity of human life and just wanted to be a voice for the unborn who have no voice. So, yes.
And I like Save the One, too.
This really just moved your heart, or really just
it's a group.
Glad I was here.
Yes,
even if you're raped, there is no excuse, she says. That's still a child.
Now they're being that voice.
Started by a lady who was raped and had a son. Absolutely no reason to abort that baby because you were raped. SaveTheOne.com. And I was so glad to hear that. Listen to my testimony under Ernestine Standberry, and I talk about how I encouraged the rape victim to have her baby and how happy she was.
Well, safe travels back, and God bless you for being here. May it cover you and all of your travels back home. There you have it, coming from around the country.
EWTN. I'm glad to know this is on TV where I can watch it.
It's exciting to hear all of, you know, one of the things
pro-life generation.
Talking to those young people, I think they were from Kansas.
Pro-life and
he asked me
pro-woman
why did you come here?
go hand in hand. That's the theme.
And I thought it was made a
this year's pro-life movement.
Which is, if we weren't here marching,
Pro-Life Action League is there too also. I know for a fact they're there. I see the yellow balloons.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's such a simple way of thinking about it, but it's exactly right on the mark. And that's why it's so important that
this is
all
Supreme Court
everyone
building.
who's important to God, which is everybody, has the ability as a created being of our Lord to step forward and step up. And I think we can see, is that maybe the Pilgrim Virgin, I think, being carried, Our Lady of Fatima, of course. And this is a very special year. This is the anniversary year of the Angel of Portugal coming in 1916, and next year, 2017, will be the 100th anniversary of the apparitions at Fatima. And so you should look for that, as well as coverage on EWTN as we continue our coverage here from Washington, and we go back to Damon Owens.
I'm so glad to see so many people did not let that storm stop them.
From the south, this time from Mississippi. Yes. What's your name?
Megan.
Megan. Chris.
Kim. Susie.
Aldo. Aldo. All right, you guys are here from Mississippi. What do you see?
Oh, a lot of snow and a lot of people.
Is this what you expected? How many did anybody first time march? Your son, what have you seen?
I've seen God's love and mercy. Just everyone being here today shows forgiveness and love for God. We're all called to have mercy for each other, and mercy not only for the unborn, but for those who have committed the act against love. And so I pray for all of them and all their families and anyone who has encouraged others who encourage others for abortion. But I pray for them just as much as I pray for the unborn, because God can change your hearts and show mercy.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put you too much on the spot here, but knowing what was coming up here, knowing in terms of the weather, knowing the travel, however long it took you from Mississippi, something drove you here. Want to share that?
I was adopted, and I was born in 1962. If my mom didn't love me enough to give me up, and abortion was a choice, I may not be here today with all these beautiful young people and all these people. So I thank God every day for my life, and I thank God for my mom for giving me life and not having an option to abort me. So life is precious, and each and every one of us are precious.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. A father of 2 adopted children. That's a testimony I prayed my children would have as well, thanking their birth mom and for that beautiful decision. Are you guys with a parish, with a group? What's your association with each other?
We're from Immaculate Conception Church, Laurel, Mississippi.
Good, good. And was there a large group where you guys came together and decided to come?
It's just us. We have a diocese group that comes, and we're young adults, and we just decide to come on our own.
Courage, courage, perseverance.
For 4 days, we're staying in a condo across the street. Don't worry, people, we're going to be great. We're going to stick it out through the blizzard.
I think you're going to make it. So you guys have the Lord's anointing there. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, and God bless you all for being here, and thank you for your witness and your testimony. Back to you, Doug.
Thank you so much, Damon, and thank you to those people from Mississippi for making that trek. And we go to Teresa, who's in the midst of that snowstorm. Teresa.
Okay, we are live here, made it up to the Supreme Court. It's snowing very heavily, and there is probably a larger contingency than normal of pro-aborts who are really trying to drown out the Women and Men of the Silent No More Awareness campaign. We're literally right in front of the steps of the Supreme Court every year at the end of the march. When the marchers come by the Supreme Court, they stop and they listen to these powerful testimonies. Some of the testimonies you heard this morning before the rally have been with us all day. Gianna Miranda, the co-founder of Silent No More, joins me again this afternoon to kind of set the scene for us, what it's been like for them. And then we're going to hear from 2 women whose testimonies are so, so powerful. Janet, describe our scene for us. It's really snowing heavily. The marchers are just starting to walk by.
Well, when we first got up here, some of us came ahead of the march because the pro-abortion people were here, and last year they tried to destroy our stage and signs, so we came to protect our property, that we rented. And then we kind of took position here, just praying silently, for them, because they were screaming all kinds of nasty things, of course, the same old rhetoric, my body, my choice, and all that. And then once we saw some of the pro-lifers here, we just started talking to them, and we took over and we started the gathering. And that's what's going on now. We've gotten up here, and the women are here, and men, and they're sharing their testimonies, and we're going to stay and keep sharing until the police tell us we have to leave,
I'm wondering if it's a larger crowd this year, not that big, it's maybe about 60, 70 people from the pro-abortion side, but it's larger than normal.
Yes, it is.
And I'm wondering if it's because they do feel threatened.
I think they do. I think the baby body parts videos this summer exposing what's really going on and how nasty the industry is has gotten them furious. And also the fact that Congress actually passed a bill to defund them, even though Obama vetoed it, showed that the will of the people really nationwide is to stop having abortion, to fund Planned Parenthood, and let's stop it once and for all. So I think they feel more threatened than ever.
Now, I know the ladies that are with you, but just give our audience a brief introduction. We have Mary Kaminsky, and then we have another wonderful lady with you.
That's right. This is Mary Kaminsky, and Mary and I have been doing Rachel's Vision together. She's been actually part of the campaign since